And we're recording. Hello, everyone. SIYP Uncensored. How are we? Hazel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. David, how are you? Where are you?
Well, actually, I'm in the countryside. I'm at
Ooh.
Sud in Toronto today. Mm.
You're in where?
Sud in Toronto. So, the church I go to, the
Ah,
ayahuasca church. Yeah,
oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
okay. Cool. Who wants to start us off today about our week? I can go first. Okay, let me go first. So this week, let's see what happened. So this week I started a new training. So it's the first week after a while that I haven't really been supporting clients how I used to, like on the phones. Now I'm like training a team. So with training the team, it's still dealing with people, but it's more a different setup because like when I'm supporting people, it could be similar topics, but it's different energies, different interactions, different, I can adapt to each person individually. So it's good because whatever I deal with or whatever impacts me or whatever comes my way, I can reset after that interaction and generate again, generate again, generate again. I can practice the detachment we always talk about, and there's nothing I'm resisting because I let it go. However, in the training, it's the same setup, it's the same people, so I started realizing for myself, and literally Friday, I had I think it was a personal breakthrough, not a breakdown, which I'm proud to say it was a breakthrough, where what I experienced this week, specifically in work, is because I am, which I also do when I deal with individual like customers or individual clients, the same energy I put in to share, create, resolve, assist clients on an individual basis is kind of what I did in the training class. It's just that these are the same people. It's the same room. But with the energies I'm experiencing, because we're so many people, different ages, different backgrounds, different points of views, different ways that they receive information, they handle their emotions, they etc. It's interesting because I realized I could generate and detach from whatever I was impacted with. But then if someone's energy impacted someone else's energy, I could notice, you know, how they weren't able to handle the detachment like I do. Like I could detach and I can get off it and I can move on. But I could see sometimes there were instances where some people could not detach from other people's energies, other people's judgments. Like we all judge, but you could see there were some cases that other people were holding on to. They would generate with such energy at the beginning of the day, and then towards the end of the day, you could see that there was this awkwardness in the class. So I I tried my best during the week to take on any individual conversations to help create with people that our focus is our job, our focus is our code of conduct, like we have certain things we need to do at work. So whatever your personal point of view about how the work should be done, acknowledge it as your point of view. But at work there's like every company has certain guidelines, right? So it was interesting to have that conversation and internally not try to judge them or label them or something. And what happened on Friday was I kind of realized that me trying not to make anyone wrong, not defend anyone, not agree with anyone, just be completely like a teacher, not defend anyone or say, yes, very good, or, oh no, that's not okay. I realized that on Monday, because there wasn't enough generating on my part, it kind of had everything just go the way it was. So I know this might sound confusing to explain, but when I finish it, I think it'll make sense. So basically, what I did on Friday was I addressed because I was really overwhelmed with my feelings and emotions. I was like, what's the point? I started judging myself. I was like, what's the point of trying to help the class? You know, no one's asking me for help, but I can see everyone struggling. What's the point of doing all of this? Like, I'm the one who's like, getting overwhelmed and dealing with all of this, the best way for me to detach from it is just give up. Right? Like I don't need to do this. I just need to do my job and give up. But then I think where it was really powerful was I went into forgiveness of myself. I went into giving up that detachment because I realized that if I detach completely, I'm not going to be helping them. So I gave up that definition of the detachment because I went too much into, I'll just give up. And I realized that I wouldn't really be serving myself or serving the community if I went that way. So I decided on the forgiveness of myself and forgiving the group that I had a conversation with everyone. I told them exactly what was on my mind. I told them exactly what I was going through. So I took on vulnerability. I took on like intentionality. I took on killing assumption because I was like, I need to be honest with everyone. And I told them straight that this is kind of what I see is going on and this is what we need to be doing in terms of work. And the beautiful thing is, everyone responded to me completely differently than what I thought they would say. I thought everyone was going to be defensive. I thought everyone was going to snap at me. I thought everyone was going to pick on each other. Like, no, I'm not being defensive. You're being defensive. You know, I had this whole thing because the room was just awkward with all the energies. But when I gave that up and I spoke to everyone and I was like, look, there is an impact and, you know, we all need to come together and we went into community, the responses I got from the group was, "Yeah, Zayshan, you know, I've seen that too, and this is what I want to take on for myself. This is what I want to contribute." It was really powerful, but I realized I needed to stop seeing them like they cannot handle this on their own. Like I needed to give that up, but not completely detach where I'm like, oh, they'll figure it out. Let me just teach them, which was really interesting because I was like, I can deal with this, I can do this, but it was just I was subconsciously resisting this thing more than actually realizing what I was doing to myself. So yeah, that was one big thing over the week with work. Yeah, what else? With family, I think on was it Friday? Last Saturday, did we have a call? Yeah, we did. No,
Yes, we
we did.
did.
We did. Okay. Yeah. So on Friday, I went out. I think I mentioned this. I met my sister last Friday. So in terms of family, not really much has been going on there, but the family's okay. I spoke to my sister who's visiting. She's in Greece. She's here for a personal event. It's like a big event, but she's there visiting. So it was interesting because like my sister and I, we always have this very strong, honest conversation, but I found out from my mom that she was in Greece without finding out from her. So, in my head, I made this whole thing. I'm like, but why didn't she tell me? Like, why why did she tell me that she was doing this? Why did I have to find out from my mom? And I'm like, oh, okay, you see, like now the family's not talking to each other and everyone's like not letting me know, and I have to always find out this way. But then I sent my sister a message and I kind of did this thing I wasn't proud of, but I kind of did this thing where I messaged her like, "Hey Farah, how are you? And I heard from a little birdie you're here," just to be like, "Why didn't you tell me you're here?" And I got this really cute message from her, which was like, you know, she's up to a lot of things right now. This was kind of like last minute planning. She knew about this, but she didn't know when she was coming in. And I asked her if she could stop by Athens to come see Rebecca and I. And then when she said she can't because she's really busy, I didn't make that mean anything. In the past, I'll be like, oh, Farah, if you would have planned this better, we could have done this together. Like, you don't love me as your brother. Like, what's going on with the family? Blah, blah, blah. Like, all of this shit, pretty much. But I gave that up and we had a really good conversation. So, with family, this new thing that I've been doing, which is like not always trying to figure out, how I can be involved and just sitting back is really healthy. So yeah, those were like the pretty two things. There's a lot of things with the personal side business in terms of accountability and getting our side business booming. We're supposed to have a call about that tomorrow evening. But with that, I think the most interesting thing the four business members are going through right now is we're all realizing we're not moving forward because we're all realizing we're not in motion. So we're all transitioning from blaming each other towards identifying what we can do, give ourselves those responsibilities, and give ourselves a deadline versus me saying, okay, business partner A, this is what you have to do. And if you don't do it, well, there's a problem. So it's not like delegating, but it's like you tell us what you can do and you tell us what happens if you can't do it. So we're like transitioning so that each person takes their accountability. And we'll see how that goes with the meeting tomorrow. That's it for my week.
So, I have a with your workplace. So everyone was. I'm just going to recap. So everyone was in a strange booth, and you were thinking that there was going to be something like something weird was happening, and you were having a tough time. Is what I was really hearing. And then when you
uh,
gave that up, then you just everything just worked out okay. Did I hear you correctly?
Kind of. So basically, the work I do deals with customers. And when it's like we're supporting customers. And when you're supporting customers, there's a lot of energy you're receiving with the individual customers. But now with the training, because I am training people how to support customers, there is the energy of the customers and then personal energy of the class. So everyone's like receiving this information in their own way, but that kind of impacts other people with their like performance, their behavior, how they're being impacted by it. So I can give that up. But what was hard for me to manage was everyone else dealing with everyone else's energy. And that took a toll on me.
Okay, so then what did you do to actually to have that not take a toll on you? Or was
So,
there
so
anything?
yeah, so what I thought was I wouldn't be able to make a difference and the energy in the room is just going to be weird, that I should just give it up and focus on like teaching the class without addressing this weird energy. But then that wouldn't help anyone. So I had a conversation with everyone telling them what I'm realizing because I thought if I just give up on them, there could be judgment towards each other and judgment towards me, like, just a trainer who doesn't care. So I had an honest, intentional conversation with the class, telling them what I'm seeing, what I'm observing, and how I would like everyone to just, you know, give up these emotions because they're like distracting the class. And everyone's response was yes, they see that too. And they want to take on giving that up so that they can move on better in the environment, which is exactly eventually what I wanted to achieve with the class. I wanted to reset the environment. But I needed to tell them honestly, this is what I feel like intentionally, where I almost did not do that because I was just like, oh, I need to give this up. It doesn't serve me. It's stressing me out. Everyone is stressed. I don't need this stress. I want to give it up. But if I did that, I wouldn't be helping the team. So where I stepped into my power was detaching from the detachment, kind of. Yeah.
And,
In public. So
In
so
public.
they knew that you were actually doing it. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
and you were also being accountable as the one who is teaching the class.
Yeah. Accountable to the company, accountable to myself as the teacher, and accountable to the class. Like, yeah, yeah, that's true. Thank you, Hazel. I didn't acknowledge myself for that, but thank you. I am complete.
Nice.
Okay, do you want to go, David, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. So, what came up for me this week was like yesterday, I had a mid year check in with my manager. And I know that I was personally feeling like I wasn't 100% because I had some health issues in June. So I mentioned that to my manager, and he said, we don't need that kind of dedication. He's like, your priority should be your health, right? And he said, I think you've been doing a fantastic job even with the health issues. And I said, oh, I'm like, thank you. Like I felt like he acknowledged me, and I said, honestly, the reason why I was actually on the phone while I was not well is because I was bored. I was bored because the only thing I could do was like, you know, eat, sleep, and rest. And you can only read so much, you can only watch TV so much, and before you get really bored. So, and he said, okay, I understand that. And I said, yeah, I'm definitely taking care of my health, and I thank you for saying that you think I'm doing a fantastic job. And I mentioned actually how I noticed one of the guys on the team wasn't in the office one day because he's one of the early birds like me. And I sent him a message and I said, are you okay? Because he was online. And he said, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I just like pulled a muscle because, I was doing sports last night. And I said, yeah, I just saw you weren't in, and I was wondering if you were okay. And he's like, oh, that's so thoughtful of you. And I said, I tend to be, I tend to notice the people around me. And he's like, thank you. And I told my manager about that, and he's like, yeah, keep doing that. He's like, we need to bring like the team together and feel like the team is a cohesive unit. And so, after I had the discussion with my manager, I felt a lot better about my work performance. And, because before I talked to him, there was some fear there. And, I saw that I was still being accountable in my job. And so then having that conversation with him allowed me to detach from my fears. And that's always a nice feeling. And also there was like, yeah, I was judging myself too. I was judging my work performance because I had been ill. So yeah, and then I gave that up. And yeah, other than that, like the work week was fine. Like I caught up with everything, and things were going smoothly. And we're actually getting two new people in our team next week. So there's some excitement around there. And the energy dynamic in the team will change. So it will be interesting to see what unfolds there. Um, see what else has come up personally. My husband and I have just been doing some planning because our big trip to Ireland is coming up in September. And we're just preparing for that and getting excited about the idea of traveling.
That's nice. I mean, traveling is always exciting. So, yeah.
It's exciting, but I find like for me and my husband, it's like the actual act of getting ourselves there is the part that we don't like so much. But when we're there, it's like that's the fun part.
True. Well, I see there's a little bit of like dreaming, visioning, and intentionality also there in your planning. And
Mm-hmm.
that starts the avalanche or the domino effect of then like accountability and just enjoying the process and all of that. So yeah, that's also very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I'm complete.
Okay,
And you're doing
David.
something that you've always wanted to do and didn't do
Oh
it.
yeah,
And that was
yeah,
going to Ireland.
yeah. I wanted to go like, geez, since as far back as I can remember. Mhm.
Nice. And that's happening in September.
Yay!
David.
So I had a different week. It was so I haven't been paying my rent because I haven't had any money. So I actually had to actually have a conversation about my with my landlord about that. So I have till the end of the month to come up with some money, and which is cool. Everything will work out somehow. But it's just that initial fears, is like there's just like your heart started pounding, and oh goodness. But then it's just like, wait a minute, everything always turns out okay. So why am I worried about this? Because if I worry about it, then things are just going to go all nasty and slippery and not good. But if I stay in a space of possibility, then actually things can possibly happen. So we'll soon find out what happens, and I'm just going to do what I do, and whatever happens, happens. And it's just about being okay with that. And I really like my apartment, and I have my studio set up. So it's just like, well, I would love to keep it. And if that's not in the cards for me to keep, then that's not in the cards for me to keep. And we just see what happens at that moment in time. So I'm in the space of just letting go of, yes, I would love to have the apartment, and I don't have to have the apartment. I can actually live somewhere else as well. But I'd rather not. Another thing that showed up from, oh, actually, I did a video for my business, and really describing me. So I go into deep depths about me. I show people the tools that I use and why I use the tools. And at the end, I really just discovered I don't do magic actually at all. I actually just hold space for people, and I hold the belief for people. And that's really what I do is I hold the belief and the faith for people. And not faith. I hold the belief and the oh my God, what's the other word? In space for people to actually open up and to clear or whatever there is in their space to clear. So it's not magic. I've learned how to do stone reading, and I'm getting really good at it. So it's these 13 stones where so I've been just like, okay, spirit, we've got to figure this thing out. We got to figure out why I'm not getting business. So it's just like, okay. So it's just like I started calling my spirit for it and throwing the stones, and then I actually connected with the stones and just feeling them, discovering what there is for me to let go. There's a few things um, that actually because there was this one I did a throw, and I just had this. I just knew that something was holding me back. It's like anchoring me, just keeping me away from something. So we cleared that. And there's another one which was interesting. I did a throw. This was about me being reaching out to women entrepreneurs, like high profile internet women entrepreneurs. So it's just like, oh my goodness, like because I was in a space of maybe I shouldn't do that, maybe I can't do that, blah blah blah. And I did a toss, and there was a stone on top of a stone. I thought that was interesting, and I really got that it was dominating. So I was feeling like in the past I would feel dominated by women. So I did another throwing just to clear that, and so I was able to clear that. So we'll see what happens next week. Um, and just going to continue doing these stone throwings until things start happening.
Nice. I have a little question. So, you going through what you're going through, what you shared with us about, like, your apartment and the finances. I I admire the fact that you're, so clear in standing in the possibility of, if it is meant to be, it will. You don't necessarily need to be in that apartment and everything else. Um, what I want to ask is, other than just, you know, trying to find alignment and the space for your apartment and that conversation with your landlord, which is really great because I know it takes something to have that conversation with the landlord, to be vulnerable, to share. Other than that, for anyone who's listening who might be in a similar situation, other than just standing in the possibility and having that clear intention, what we can also say with SIYP is the module of gratitude can help clear our mind to be more intentional on things that don't serve us, and just gratitude for the space. Is there anything else that you see yourself doing, like, to help go through whatever you're going through, other than just standing in possibility?
Standing a possibility. That's pretty much all there is for me right now. I'm just standing that possibility. Well, my mom actually called me up about a month ago and said, "Don't worry, David, money's coming."
Mm.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's coming. So it's just, and she knows where the space heading. So who knows? Who knows? Possibilities of anything can happen. And you know what? Maybe something better will show up for me than what this apartment has as well. So who knows? Who knows? That's the thing, is that we don't know what's best. It's spirit, it's great spirit who actually really knows what's best for us.
It's very
And when
interesting.
we'll follow the breadcrumbs,
Yeah, sorry.
when we follow the breadcrumbs, then that's when you really see, oh, okay, this is the best route to me.
It's very interesting that you mentioned that, because then also there have been many instances in my life where I've wanted something to go a certain way, and the more I'm like fixated on it going that way, if it's really not meant in the cards for me, it's like the universe, spirit, or God, or whatever, like, just kind of pushes me in another path. Like, if spirit or universe or God has something in our cards, like what you're saying, like maybe this apartment is not meant, or we never know, possibility can be whatever. But what I've
Hmm.
started realizing is, the more I surrender to possibility with an intention, like, what I want my apartment to be, like this place, for example. I kept saying, oh, we will never find a garden, we will never find, it doesn't exist in Athens. And when we just gave it up, we completely gave it up, but the possibility was real. This place came out of nowhere, and it's a blessing. Like, we call it heaven on earth. So, David, like, this is now probably what I'm getting, like what you're sharing from. Like, the possibility is way greater than what we even think we're capable of, or like what's available for us.
Yeah. Actually, I will borrow the belief that you have, that you had, that you gave it up about garden suites, and garden suite showed up. So I will borrow that belief
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
myself, not for a garden suite, but you know what? For the best place for me to be will show up.
Yeah, I think this applies to people who are looking for partners, people who are looking for a job, people who are looking for a new space. I think what it really buckles down to is just having our energy available for our vision. So, like, your vision needs to be clear, what your space is, what lights you up, and keep standing in that, just to like channel to higher being, spirit, God, whatever, just to be really clear, and then receive it when it shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
Very powerful. Ooh, anything else for you,
Yeah.
David?
No, actually, I'm complete.
I am complete too. All right, same time next week.
Yep.
By the way,
Yeah.
team, we now have a YouTube channel, so you can also subscribe on YouTube to our content. It's all going to be up there. If you're not on Spotify or Apple Music, it's going to be on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.
You too.
The
Bye.